My feet are both asleep because I sit so weird. Hey guys, so I haven't made a video in probably like 10 months or so, give or take. What I'm trying to say is it's been a long time, but I am making a video today about my recent travels because I went to Europe for 10 weeks this summer, and I've been meaning to make this video since I've gotten back, which was a month ago. So this video is going to be part chatty recap and part introspective insights that I learned while I was there, because typical me. And I have my handy dandy phone because I can't remember all the things that I wrote down while I was in Europe and all the things that I found fascinating and interesting, and I'm gonna need help. Also, disclaimer, I apologize if you hear sound in my background because, you know, I do live with my family. I have a mom, I have a dad, I have a brother, I have a brother's girlfriend, I have a dog, and they are all right through that door, so I cannot control if you hear them. I'm sorry. Bear with me. I recently went through probably 6,000 of the pictures that I took in Europe, and while I was doing it I had the biggest smile on my face, and I wanted to make this video to just capture how I'm feeling now, because even though I'll always look back on this trip with fond memories, I'm only human and everything's gonna start to wear off, and it's not like, even now that I've been back for a month, I don't feel exactly the same way that I felt while I was in Europe. So I want to capture this moment and all of these feelings now while they're still relatively fresh. Okay, so the chatty recap is going to be sweet and short just to give you a gist of everything that happened. I went to Europe for 10 weeks. It was 72 days, 28 cities, 14 countries, and I will very quickly tell you all of the countries, all the cities that I went to, and this is probably going to be about my 100th time telling people where I went, and it probably will not be the last time. So I started in Stockholm, went to Copenhagen, went to Amsterdam, did a day trip to Utrecht, went to Nice, then I went to La Spezia, did day trips to the Cinque Terre, can't pronounce it, sorry. Where'd I go after that? I always get mixed up when I get to this part, and I don't know why. I did Rome, Florence, Venice, Vienna with a day trip to Bratislava, Budapest, Prague, Berlin, Arnhem, Cardiff, London, and then Paris. Okay. Now that that's out of the way, so the first thing I really want to talk about, and it's probably the most important, is the people. The people absolutely make the place. So looking back through all of my pictures, not only do I remember how I felt to be there, but I remembered all the people who I was with. Even if they weren't in the picture, that's how intertwined my memory of these places are with the people. And of course, I could go on and on and on about how beautiful these places were, and all the cities and all the countries and all the sights that I saw, because they absolutely were. But what really made my trip so great are the people that I met along the way, and the people even from back home who were a part of my journey and that I met up with. Okay, so my biggest takeaway from this trip is that people in passing are so important. I think we get so caught up in the people we think are supposed to be in our lives forever, we forget the value of people who are in passing, who maybe we see once, maybe we spend a few months with, and then they're gone. And I think we're all kind of aversive to loss, but like, I'm that type of person who I'll think about someone who hasn't been in my life for 5 years and actually get like a little sentimental. So this is huge for me. But the thing I realized in Europe is that when you're constantly meeting people, a lot of people who you'll never see again, you should never underestimate the value of those connections. You should never forget the things that those people can teach you, the laughs you'll share, the way they'll make you feel. I think that's very important. And I think when this really hit me, I was sitting in the laundromat waiting for my laundry to be done, and I was just talking to these 3 guys from America, and like, we were having intelligent conversation, and it's the strangest thing, because although I knew I would never talk to them again, probably ever, it, like, at that moment I just valued those connections so much. And that kind of goes for my entire trip. I was constantly meeting people who, you know, I probably will never talk to again, and I was like, that's okay. And I think this even goes for people in our lives today. We don't know who's going to be in our lives tomorrow. We don't know who's going to be with us for a year from now. But it's really important to value that connection, value whatever you had without kind of hanging on to the hope that it's going to be forever. But honestly, because I traveled solo for most of my trip, I am forever grateful for the people that I met along the way who felt like home, who made me feel at home in the middle of a foreign country, miles and miles and miles away from basically anyone that I knew. And sometimes it'd be so funny. I'd meet people and then we'd go out with other people and meet new people, and they'd be like, oh, are you guys traveling together? How do you know each other? And then we'd turn and look at each other and be like, we kind of just met today. And I think that says something, because to outsiders it would seem like we're like super close friends and we've been friends for years, or at least more than an hour. And it just shows the capacity as humans that we have to make connections very quickly. And it's a beautiful thing.